Good morning, everybody. You're very welcome here today to our live event. My name is Catherine McGuigan from Age Friendly Ireland, and I'm delighted to be here today in the beautiful Custom House in Dublin. I'd like to give a very warm welcome to Minister Mary Butler, Minister of State for Mental Health and Older People from the Department of Health, who we've been working with very closely, and delighted to have you here today in Custom House, and Minister Peter Burke, Minister of State for Planning and Local Government, and delighted to be collaborating with you as well, Minister Burke. We have our speakers, Jackie Maguire, Chief Executive of Meath County Council and host of Age Friendly Ireland, and Rosalind Malloy from the Housing Agency. And we're also delighted to have Leo Cairns, who's chairing the Housing Implementation Group, of which all this work today and this milestone event is born today. So thank you for being here today. And obviously all our colleagues in both the Department of Health and the Department of Housing that we've been collaborating with. So today is a real milestone, and I want to give a very warm welcome to all the people that are online, our practitioners, our chief executives, our partners, stakeholders, and a wide range of people who have helped us and supported us in the last 11 years as we've worked towards an age-friendly Ireland. I think a very special welcome today to our older people, from the Older People's Councils and beyond, who have supported us in this work. What we did differently when we started this process was we listened to the voice, the authentic voice of older people who have helped us co-design. And I think it's really cognizant that both departments and their chairperson Leo saw the merit in inviting two members of the National Network of Older People's Councils. So we've had that direct, authentic voice informing everything we do, and that's why today is such a milestone as we present our resources and our website today, which is speaking to a number of actions. When we started this journey in 2009, we had been informed by the World Health Organization that we were going to have rapid population growth, but that we were going to have population ageing. And we had predictions and trends. And it was interesting, I was reflecting yesterday that it was around 460,000 older people aged 65 plus in Ireland at the time, around 2006 to 2009, based on that census. And today we're nearly at 700,000. So we're certainly, the growth is there and the evidence is there that the work we're doing is really, really important. And for the first time, we're going to have more older people in the future than we are under fives. So it shows us that everything we're doing today is really significant in terms of planning for ageing. So we're really delighted with everything that has been produced today and this milestone event. Without further ado, I'm going to call on my own Chief Executive, Jackie Maguire from Meath County Council. Jackie is Chair of the National Advisory Group on Age Friendly Ireland, but also hosts the programme on behalf of the sector as a shared service. And therefore, as we know, the shared service is a wide resource to all the stakeholders. So Jackie's going to give us the overview of the publications and the resources before we call on our next speaker. So welcome, Jackie.
Good morning, everybody. Minister Butler, Minister Burke, invited guests. While we can't see you, we know you're all there, but as Chief Executive of Meath County Council and host of the Age Friendly Ireland Shared Service, it is a great pleasure for me to speak here this morning at the launch of the Age Friendly Homes website, and indeed the suite of new materials to support the advancement of age-friendly homes and appropriate planning for the ageing population. And many of the outputs and the materials produced have developed from the implementation of the joint departmental housing options for our ageing population policy statement. I suppose, look, we all know and agree that housing is a fundamental right, and many of the outputs and the materials produced have developed from the implementation of the joint departmental housing options for our ageing population policy statement. I suppose, look, we all know and agree that housing is a fundamental right. Good quality, appropriate housing is essential for older people as much as it is for any age group. And I suppose it is a particular concern because of the predicted population expansion and future demand for housing. The World Health Organization recommends that a certain proportion of housing stock needs to be accessible, and that this proportion should be determined locally by each implementing agency. And naturally enough, it needs to be reviewed as the population changes. Ireland has embraced this global age-friendly framework and has been recognised by the World Health Organisation as the first fully affiliated age-friendly country in the world. Anchored in local government, the Irish Age-Friendly Programme is a multi-sectoral initiative implementing actions in every local authority area in partnership with a wide range of stakeholders at national level. Improving the age-friendliness of our homes and communities will contribute significantly towards the Sustainable Development Goals and have a wide-ranging impact on individuals, including health and safety issues, reducing falls, and increasing the quality of life. Supporting people to have the option of rightsizing in later life is a very important policy. The rightsizing research and the rightsizing guide being launched here today will help to set out people's choices and illustrate both the barriers and indeed the supports available should they wish to rightsize. Housing planning and the built environment are among the core functions of local government, and the resources being launched today provide us with an opportunity to strengthen our own systems in the delivery of our functions. It will assist all sectors to review the way we do things and to see how services and systems can be improved. We know from the Healthy and Positive Ageing Survey that some older people in Ireland have problems with their housing. Either they don't have the right facilities, or sometimes houses are just too large and difficult to maintain. These findings are supported by the research on the rightsizing carried out by Age Friendly Ireland. And just some of the key findings out of the research were that 90% occupy accommodation of 3 bedrooms or more. 70% of those who were that were discussed during the research said their home was too large for their current needs. And 80% of them reckon that it is too expensive to heat or maintain, while 44% said they would be prepared to consider moving. We extend our gratitude to South Dublin County Council for proposing and taking the lead on the study, and indeed to the members of the Research Advisory Group, including the Housing Agency, our former Principal Advisor for Housing, Jack Keys, and very importantly, members from the National Network of Older People's Council, Bridie O'Reilly and Rosaline Smart. We always ensure that we hear the voice of the older people in any of the projects or programmes that we carry out. And I have to say the research in itself was carried out independently by someone who has significant experience in age-friendly. And some of the new age-friendly resources relate to the built environment, including age-friendly primary care centre guidelines, the age-friendly homes rating tool, the recommendations on 10 universal design features to include in an age-friendly home, and the age-friendly seating and parking toolkits. The primary care guidelines were developed by one of our regional programme managers, Alice Corbett, with support from Michaela Wood, the age-friendly programme manager in Wicklow County Council. They focus primarily on 2 new developments in Athy and Baltinglass, and additional case studies and good practice examples were provided by the HSE Estates Office, for which we want to thank Derek Dockrell. The document covers considerations such as location, wayfinding, design, and provides a checklist for those developing new facilities. The last set of documents relate to the planning environment. These guidelines were compiled by Dr. Sean O'Riordan with support from many of our colleagues. In addition, specific pre-planning guidelines have been developed for long-term residential care facilities, considering HICWA standards and indeed lessons learned from the pandemic. All of the documentations being launched here today support the actions outlined in the housing options for our ageing population policy. I am delighted that all of these resources will be available on the Age Friendly Homes website, which will be a one-stop shop for a very wide audience, including practitioners across a diverse number of service providers and those in the private sector, local authority staff, policy writers, individuals, academia and many more. Providing choice in housing as people age is an excellent way to support them to remain living independently for longer. And developing our built environment, including accessibility in an age-friendly way, will help our ageing population and wider society to access services and recreational supports at any age. And so, in conclusion, there's a lot of people to thank, so just very briefly, indeed, I want to thank my own staff at the Shared Service Office for the huge commitment they've put into this. There have been a lot of committees and subcommittees who've sat to develop the documentation that you see before you and that will be launched here today. And all of those committees had to be serviced and they had to be chaired. So I want to thank indeed everyone who contributed in any way to that, including my own Director of Service, Barry Lynch. But I also want to compliment and thank all the officials in the department. Laura Behan is here with us today, and indeed her previous colleagues, Caroline Timmins and many more, who were such an asset to us and worked so hard to ensure that we delivered on what we can launch here today. Indeed, all of the 31 age-friendly housing technical advisors across the local authorities contributed to the documentations. And I suppose we always, Ger Craddock in the Centre for Centre for Excellence in Universal Design, he's always our first port of call when we need any technical advice on that area. So Ger has always gave of his time most willingly. To Jack Keys, our former Principal Advisor on Housing and Public Realm, but just as importantly, members of the Older People's Councils who contributed significantly to the resources through focus groups, through surveys, through consultation sessions. And as I said earlier, it is always so important to listen to the voice of the older people and hear what they want and what they say so that we can be inclusive of that. And finally, I just want to thank, and I'm delighted that he's able to be here with us, the few of us that are here today, is the chair of the Housing Options Policy Implementation Committee is Leo Cairns, and just to extend our sincere gratitude for him, the manner in how he drove us all forward and managed to get us here today. So look, again, in conclusion, I look forward to seeing the documentations on site, seeing them used, seeing them put into practice, and, you know, providing the right type of housing for people as they age is really the most significant thing that we can do going forward. So thank you all very much.
Thank you, Jackie. We've just also been notified that a few people were delayed getting onto the link, probably because we had a little technical glitch. So in that regard, and just for the latecomers, could I just formally welcome Minister Butler from the Department of Health and Minister Burke again, and our special guests. I'll not do the whole 5-minute introduction, but I just want to acknowledge that and thank you everybody for being here, and welcome to the link if you've just recently joined us. Jackie's words are very important in the context of all the outputs that we have here today, the guides, the toolkits, but what's most important is that we can access them. And putting them into a one-stop shop through the website was really, really an important part. And as Jackie said, there was a lot of work and methodologies used to get to us here today. And it was great to work so closely with our colleagues in the Housing Agency, Rosalind Malloy and Sarah Kennedy and many others. And I'm delighted that Rosalind is here to give you an overview of the extent of the website and what it covers, and how it's going to be a sustainable resource for us going forward. And I'd like to acknowledge the work of the Housing Agency and our colleagues there in advance of that. So welcome, Rosalind.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, ministers, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. I'm thrilled to be here this morning representing the Housing Agency and helping to launch the agefriendlyhomes.ie website. It's a fantastic achievement that during the year that we've had, we were able to develop and create this resource. And I think what has made this happen is the support and collaboration of everyone involved along the journey. So I'd like to talk about the development and purpose of the website, and then I'm going to play a short video which will give you more information about the website and its features. So the journey started back in the pre-COVID days. In January 2020, the Housing Agency invited the UK-based Housing, Learning and Improvement Network, or Housing LIN as it's called, to Ireland to talk with a range of stakeholders in housing, health and social care. Housing LIN provides a networking and resource website in the UK, and we wanted to know if this was something that could be replicated in Ireland. This was then followed up by a meeting with over 60 stakeholders, asking them what they thought was needed. With what we had learned from these events, we began to create the vision. And the Department of Health, the Department of Age Friendly Ireland and the Housing Agency came together as a group to develop Friendlyhomes.ie. All 4 members are responsible for the ongoing development and are jointly funding it. And I think this means that we're all invested in ensuring it is a live resource and that is regularly updated to meet the needs of the users going forward. The website is intended to be a resource for people wanting to find out about the different housing options available. It'll be of interest, as Jackie has said, to local authorities, approved housing bodies, developers, architects and health and social care providers working with and supporting older people. The website has been created to provide people with ideas, resources and tools to promote good practice in housing options, and it'll also provide signposts to other relevant sites and resources. The information on the site will be regularly updated as new resources become available. For example, if a really good housing scheme for older people has been built, then this can be shared on the website, allowing others to learn and gain insight into the new development that may inspire their own projects. Information on changes in policy, planning and funding schemes will also be made available on the website. If you're an older person wanting to know what your options are when adapting your home or building a new home, then you will find resources and links to people who can support you with this. If you're a developer or an architect considering building a new housing scheme, you'll find the design ideas, design templates, case studies and contact details for the specialists in the local authority area who you can talk to and get support from. If you're working in policy and research, then it'll be a resource for you too to keep up to date with new developments. There are 6 key principles set out in the housing options for our ageing population policy statement. They are ageing in place, supporting urban renewal, promoting sustainable lifetime housing, using assistive technology, staying socially connected, and working together. And I think it's this last principle of working together that is key to agefriendlyhomes.ie and will ensure the website continues to be a relevant resource which supports the development of different housing options for older people who wish to live at home and remain in their communities for as long as possible. As the policy statement puts it, it is essential that all stakeholders work together in a spirit of common purpose. Collaborative, cross-sectoral and multi-agency projects that recognise the need for a joined-up approach are a crucial element in creating appropriate housing options and choice to support people as they age. So as already has been mentioned, there have been a lot of people involved in developing this website. So I started to list them myself yesterday and I realised there were just actually too many to read out, but I would like to acknowledge all of those, in particular on the oversight group, all the stakeholders who supported the content creation and those who have reviewed it. The website developers, Neo Archaic and Housing Lynn, and my colleagues in the Housing Agency and everyone else who's contributed their time and their expertise to the project. So you're now going to see what the website looks like in a short video. Sarah Kennedy from the Housing Agency, who has project managed its development phase, is going to take you through this, highlighting its key features. Thanks very much.
Good morning. My name is Sarah Kennedy. I'm a Senior Staff Officer with the Housing Agency. This morning, I'll provide you with some background information on the Age Friendly Homes website before moving on to a brief demonstration of the website and some of its features. The key aims and objectives of agefriendlyhomes.ie are simple. First and most importantly, its aim is to promote and encourage the availability of a wide range of housing options for older people in Ireland. It aims to act as a one-stop shop where members of the public and professionals alike can access information and key resources in relation to age-friendly homes. It is a place for professionals in this space to showcase and share their work, research and best practice with colleagues in the sector. The website is a key resource and provides a wealth of information on housing and ageing. It hosts a large number of resources such as case studies, research, reports, design guidelines, funding information, and information on planning and regulations. The website compiles existing relevant resources from a variety of stakeholders and will ensure these are kept up to date going forward. The website will be relevant to a wide variety of different users. In order to ensure it's useful and accessible to all the different user groups, each of which will have different requirements and expectations for the resource, we included significant input and consultation with various sectors, professionals, and older people from the outset. 60 stakeholders were consulted prior to the beginning of the development of agefriendlyhomes.ie. These included On Board Planola, the HSE, academia, the Royal Institute of Architects in Ireland, the National Disability Authority, and many more. I would like to briefly mention the content review process that we implemented when compiling the information and resources for the website. Collaboration with stakeholders and potential users of the website continued throughout this content creation process, wherein they provided us with their expertise and knowledge in the area of age-friendly housing. This feedback was incorporated into the website, and the website which is being launched today is a result of the collaboration of not just the 4 members of the oversight group, but from all the key stakeholders. We are extremely grateful to everyone who shared this time and expertise in contributing to this process. Some of the stakeholders were kind enough to provide feedback on the website and how it's of use to them in their professional and personal lives. Jean McInerney, who is an executive architect and age-friendly technical advisor with Clare County Council, stated, "The website provides key knowledge, guidance and examples of how to best achieve quality homes and environments for ageing people. Within one website, current and comprehensive age-friendly advice is available to all types of users, which prove invaluable in our work with our region and nationally." Dr. Gerald Craddock, who is the Chief Officer for the Centre for Excellence of Universal Design at the National Disability Authority, said, "The launch of the Age-Friendly Homes website is an important step in highlighting the importance of collaboration at national level, as well as advancing universal design." Finally, Rosaline Smart, who is the Chair of Westmeath's Older People's Council and a member of the National Implementation Group, said, "The website is easy to navigate around. It provides you with the information you need to future-proof your home or to right-size, and most importantly, it gives you the independence to make your own informed decisions." We are really thrilled with this feedback, and we hope this sentiment is shared by the public. At this stage, I'd like to provide you with a brief demonstration of the website. Here you can see the homepage of the Age-Friendly Homes website. Along the top, you have the menu bar, from which you can access other sections of the website. The resource section contains the bulk of the information. As you can see, the resources are divided into 6 main sections. These are age-friendly homes, which includes information on home adaptations, retrofitting, supported housing, amongst others. The grants and funding section covers financial information relevant to both individuals and developers. The social and healthcare support section provides a comprehensive overview of support services, information for carers, as well as resources on technology. Age-friendly planning and design provides information on universal design, internal layouts, and also provides the contact information for the age-friendly technical advisors, of which there is 1 in each local authority. The section on public realm covers county development plans, how to make communities more age-friendly, and information on walkability. And finally, the policy, planning and building regulations section brings together useful policy and regulatory information. To give you an example of the information contained in these resource sections, I'll visit the age-friendly homes section now. You can see the subtopics listed along the left-hand side. In this section, they are new and existing homes, right-sizing, adapting your home, retrofitting and renovation, rental and home sharing, supported and independent housing, nursing homes, and case studies. If you click into one of the subsections, for example, new and existing homes, you will find information on the topic, along with helpful links scattered throughout to further information on universal design, guidance from the Irish Wheelchairs Association, and a link to the RIAAI's list of registered architects. Other useful links, such as to the building regulations, are also included. At the bottom of each page, you will find a resource section, which provides a link to download or visit resources relevant to this topic. These resources can also be found in the Resource Hub, which I will show you in a moment. A key benefit of the website is that it promotes and shares best practice in the area of age-friendly homes. The case studies section provides a link to a form which collects information on age-friendly developments. If you are a developer or an architect who has worked on age-friendly housing, you can share information on these projects using the form. The information you provide will be collated into a case study document and included on the website. If you have a case study to share, we would encourage you to fill out this form and showcase your work. The website also features a resource hub, which I mentioned earlier. This hub brings together all of the resources on the website in one place, and it allows the user to filter through the website resources by topic and by resource type. For example, a user may visit the website to look for information on dementia. By selecting dementia from the list on the left-hand side, the website will compile the resources relevant to this topic. Users can also search by resource type such as case studies, reports, or design guidelines. Finally, I would like to show you the contacts and link page, which provides some useful contact information for other relevant organisations. The list of contact information for the age-friendly housing technical advisors can be found here, and this may be of particular interest. To conclude, I would like to thank you all for your time and invite you to visit the website and access its resources. We are committed to the collaborative nature of this website and encourage you to contact us with relevant information, resources, events, case studies, and anything else you think might be useful on the website. I'm thrilled to launch the age-friendly homes study today, and I hope that it's a useful resource. Thank you.
It's really fantastic, and thank you to Sarah for putting the video together. I think what's really important, Rosalind, and probably what we're really proud of as a partnership, is that we will have somebody to maintain and update and sustain this website. It's really important that the information is current and accessible, and we will have a resource hosted in Age Friendly Ireland to be able to do that from now on. So we'd encourage all the stakeholders and practitioners and older people and from all the different sectors to participate, use the website and keep us informed of any changes. That will be really important going forward. So thank you for that. As we move on now, I suppose we're moving into the official launch, and we're going to ask both ministers to speak. We're going to call on Minister Peter Burke. And again, Minister, thank you very much for hosting us here today. I think what's really important about both of the ministers being here today is that this is a collaborative approach. The fact that the Department of Housing and the Department of Health are working together to deliver housing options shows that health and housing for older people have always been linked. They're not mutually exclusive, and very, very important that they go hand in hand. So we're delighted to have you both here today, and you've been wonderful ambassadors for this initiative and been able to get this work driven forward. Minister Burke, I'll call on you to do your part from the official launch. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Catherine, and thank you for all your valuable work over the last number of months and prior to that in relation to this very, very important topic. And I'd like to thank all our speakers so far for Jackie in terms of your commitment and your local authority in driving this forward. Rosalind and Sarah for taking us through the website. It was very impressive there to see it and to see all the reviewers that have fed into this process and made it such a fine product that it is. We all really appreciate the work that has gone into it. I'm delighted to be here in the Custom House today to officially launch Friendlyhomes.ie website, as well as the array of new resources from Age Friendly Ireland, all of which I know will be a tremendous support to the planning and delivery of housing for our elderly people. Since the 2019 Housing Options for Our Ageing Population Joint Policy Statement was launched, Trojan efforts have been made by the implementation group members to deliver on all of these actions. Excellent progress has been made to date, and today's launch represents the successful completion of a number of these actions. In that regard, I would like to thank Leah Kearns, who has chaired the implementation group since the launch in 2019 and overseen significant progress across all areas, and we see the action as a result of that here today. I was here with you last December when we launched the local authority age-friendly technical advisors, and I know that they are making a wonderful contribution all around the country to the goal of providing housing for our older citizens. Today is another significant day on that journey, and we gather once again to mark further progress with the launch of Friendlyhomes.ie website and the Age Friendly Ireland housing and planning resources, which will have a growing catalogue of supports now available to those involved in providing housing and other services to our older people. From the outset, collaborative working has been at the heart of the implementation of the actions in housing options for our ageing population. The two departments, Housing and Health, jointly have developed and worked the policy statement and are responsible for delivery of its actions. We could not do this without the knowledge and the expertise of these, such as the Housing Agency, Age Friendly Ireland, the Centre of Excellence in Universal Design, and Irish Council for Social Housing. Their professional input and on-the-ground knowledge of the issues are crucial to understanding the housing needs of our older people and key to the progress that we celebrate today. Long may such successful collaboration continue, and is the cornerstone of progress in all areas of life. Providing a range of housing options to respond to various needs across the community is an absolute priority of government and indeed my department. For older people, we are committed to ensuring that they are supported to stay in their homes and communities for as long as possible. The programme for government outlines a vision for an age-friendly Ireland in which older people can live long and healthy lives, participate in their communities and have a range of housing options and health supports to make all this possible. We are committed to providing affordable public and social homes and increasing social housing stock by over 50,000 units over the next 5 years. In doing so, we will ensure that an appropriate mix of housing design types is provided, including accommodation for older people and for people with disabilities. Our forthcoming Housing for All strategy, which will set out how we propose to deliver on that commitment. One of the most interesting yet challenging actions in the Joint Policy Statement, Housing Options, is Action 1.3, which tasks the two departments with providing a high-level Housing for Older People blueprint for approved housing bodies, cooperatives, private developers and local authorities. The blueprint is to include design templates, guidance on funding and engagement with health and social supports, and information on planning and demonstration models, encompassing all of these elements in an accessible and effective manner for all users is quite a tall order which required a little creative thinking for its implementation. The thinking led to that decision that this action could best be implemented by developing a website to provide and encompass all these elements, and which would also be a real-time resource in what it would provide what is the most up-to-date information on all the subjects in one location, in essence a one-stop shop for age-friendly housing and health. The development of the website is a prime example of the successful collaboration to which I have already referred as the two departments came together with Age Friendly Ireland and the Housing Agency to deliver this unique resource presented to us here today. An extensive stakeholder consultation with local authorities, academia, the HSE, the finance sector, the Older People's Councils, the age-friendly technical advisors and local authorities and many others have informed the process, and the result is a very attractive and accessible website with huge potential. I have no doubt that this will be a website which will become the go-to place for age-friendly housing and health information. The suite of documents being launched today with the website have been produced by Age Friendly Ireland to support the planning and delivery of age-friendly housing and health and services for our older people. They complement existing age-friendly guidance documents on a range of services, as Age Friendly Ireland is committed to the promotion of an age-friendly society across a range of services including transport, the public realm, community supports and public participation, as well as housing and health. The documents include 10 universal features to include a lifetime acceptable, adaptable and age-friendly home, which will be an immense benefit to those who are providing or renovating homes for older people or who just want to inform themselves on making the most of their home and planning essentially for the future. There are 10 identified which are considered necessary to making a home age-friendly and lifetime adaptable, such as accessibility to the building, use of space and appropriate technology, as well as accessibility to all local amenities. The age-friendly rating tool enables the user to identify the features that would make their home most age-friendly. Age-friendly primary care centre guidance with material on inclusion and age-friendly features in the development of primary care centres. A template for age-friendly car parking bays, guidance on making public seating more age-friendly, age-friendly planning guidelines for planning authorities on preparing development plans and that consider the demands that will be generated by a population that is ageing. Pre-planning guidance for planning authorities on long-term residential care facilities and research results on older people's perceptions and experiences of what, through a right-sizing process along with an information booklet for older people explaining options regarding future-proofing of their homes, ranging from the adapting of the home sharing or moving to a more suitable accommodation. As you can see, these resources cover a wide range of activity and I compliment Age Friendly Ireland and their huge work in developing them. The work reflects the commitment of many to achieve the objectives of the Joint Policy Statement and is a great tribute to the dedication of so many stakeholders across this area. I know that all the work is continuing on other actions under the joint statement, and I hope to be here again on other occasions to mark further achievements in this area. Whatever stage we are at in life right now, this will affect all of us as individuals. Whether it be for shorter term or longer term, it is vital that we get these things right now and ensure that we can look forward to enjoying the fruits of our labours in an age-friendly Ireland when we are older. Our citizens deserve nothing less. To conclude, I want to thank the Housing Agency, the Housing Agency Ireland, who have worked with consistent energy and enthusiasm with colleagues in the Department of Housing and the Department of Health on the development of the agefriendly.ie website and all these vital resources that we have. Minister Butler and her colleagues in the Department of Health and their continued excellent collaboration and expert input, and we have a great relationship in that regard, which hopefully will bear great fruit into the future. Local authority chief executives for their continued leadership in this area, especially Jackie Maguire, our chief executive in Meath County Council, host of the Age Friendly Ireland Shared Service, and Catherine McGuigan, who's done huge work in terms of the chief officer in Age Friendly Ireland, and we really appreciate that valuable drive that Catherine is bringing to this project. Mr. Leo Kearns for chairing the implementation group and the chairs of the subcommittees who have facilitated the progress under their respective areas. The staff of my own department, Laura Behan and Caroline before that, also have provided huge dedication and work, which we genuinely appreciate, and colleagues in the Department of Health who are obviously supporting all of this work. Our older people's councils across the country for their commitment and support in improving the services across all members of society, and as I am so keenly aware, lived experiences are so valuable in terms of the resource that provide into this document, and there is no substitute for that. So it's brilliant to see that all our older people and our councils are involved in this work. So again, I would like to thank everyone for all their efforts and work, for being here today, and it's a pleasure to be here to take part in this, and thank you very much.
Thank you, Minister Burke, and thank you for having us here today. And hopefully when we have our next launch, we might have a few more physically present and working towards brighter days. On that note, Minister Butler, I think it's worth acknowledging that we've done a stellar job in this country in terms of responding to the pandemic and particularly supporting older people as we re-emerge. Yesterday we had the Healthy Ireland strategic plan launch, and what I really noticed was in the last 18 months the cooperation between local authorities and health has really harnessed, and it's our pleasure in Age Friendly Ireland to work with great colleagues like Matt Hornsby that's here today, Andrew from Sláintecare and Laura McGahey working with ourselves. It's been really fantastic and really supporting us moving to a better place for older people. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome Minister Butler here today to speak about the resources and the official launch. Thank you, Minister Butler.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Good morning, everybody. Dis Murguf Guler, Tau An Ohas Orm Vansha, Majina you. I very much welcome the launch of this suite of age-friendly resources and the Age Friendly Homes website. All of these resources will be a huge support to my work in the department and other key stakeholders in promoting the overall health and well-being of older people. I have enjoyed hearing from Jackie Maguire, the Chief Executive of Meath County Council, but very importantly the host of Age Friendly Shared Services, and I just want to compliment you and thank you for your vision and your drive, because somebody has to drive this on, and I want to thank you for that. I want to thank Rosalind from the Housing Agency, and as well as Sarah for the fantastic work showing us how the website operates. And I would also like to thank my colleague Minister Burke for hosting us here today, and to thank you as well for the collaboration and the great approach that we have taken to work together. It is clear that a lot of effort has gone into planning today's launch, and I commend Age Friendly Ireland on a very successful event. But I would specifically like to commend Catherine, Chief Officer of Age Friendly Ireland. And Catherine, I just want to thank you for all the work that you have done. You are absolutely, you're a powerhouse, you just drive it on, and somebody has to be there to do that, and you are doing it, and thank you so much. And I think older people all over the country, the local authorities, I think everybody will join with me in acknowledging that. So thank you for that. As Minister of State for Mental Health and Older People, I recognise the value in these innovative resources. They have great potential to support older people in their homes, in their communities, and ultimately to improve the quality of life and well-being. I have been a passionate advocate of health promotion for older people for many years, and I believe that we must have supportive environments if we are to age well and age healthily. As we age, our needs change. Older people may have sensory, cognitive, or physical impairments that they did not experience when they were younger. Home environments need to be able to accommodate a range of abilities and support people to live independently with dignity for as long as possible. The programme of government outlines a vision for an age-friendly Ireland. As more of us enjoy our older years, we must plan to meet the future housing and healthcare needs of our diverse ageing population. To deliver on this vision, we recognise the close connection between healthcare supports and housing options. Being able to live in appropriate housing with access to health and social care services improves health outcomes, but also ensures that older people remain close to their families and they are able to participate in their communities. The resources being launched today will support older people to assess and review their home environment and help them to identify if adaptations are needed. This will also provide valuable assistance to planners, developers, government officials and other professionals involved in older people's housing options. The rightsizing guide is a very useful resource that can help people on the path to identifying more age-appropriate accommodation, which will ultimately support them to live in their own home for longer. These tools will contribute to a greater awareness of standards for age-friendly housing and the options people have as they grow older with regard to housing adaptations and other choices. Older people must have choice when it comes to housing, and their voice must be placed at the centre of all age-friendly housing developments. So they are the key words for me always, voice and choice. As we are all aware, the pandemic restricted people's movement and largely confined us all to our homes. This has given us the opportunity to reflect on our living environments and how suitable they are for our needs now and into the future. These resources are becoming available at a particularly appropriate time as people have a renewed understanding of the living environments and their personal needs. I would also like to draw particular attention to the age-friendly primary care centre guidelines. The provision and expansion of primary and community-based healthcare is at the heart of the Sláinte Care vision. With Sláinte Care comes a recognition that more emphasis is needed on preventative care and community-based supports. Therefore, the role of primary care centres is integral to how through the delivery of age-friendly primary care centres, we can ensure that services are accessible to all members of the community across their life course. These guidelines are also highly relevant to the enhanced community care hubs that are in development across the country. In line with the HSE's enhanced community care programme, 32 community specialist teams for older people will commence operation in 2021 in 2 phases. Community healthcare networks will work with these community specialist teams for older people and chronic disease and in an integrated way with the National Ambulance Service and acute services. The aim is to deliver end-to-end care, keeping people out of hospital, enabling a home-first approach and ensuring people are discharged from hospital without delay. These resources therefore tie into many vital areas of work for the Department and the HSE. I would like to congratulate all involved in their preparation and I look forward to seeing the outcomes of their use in local government and in the wider community. Alongside the suite of publications produced by Age Friendly Ireland, we are also here to launch the Age Friendly Homes website. The website brings together resources to inform and improve the range of housing, health and social care choices for older people. It will be relevant to a wide range of people, and especially us as politicians in our constituency offices, there's no doubt about that, to support individuals seeking to adapt their homes or to move into more suitable accommodation, but also for developers, local authorities, approved housing bodies, care providers and practitioners. The website arises from a commitment under the 2019 Joint Policy Statement, Housing Options for Our Ageing Population, which was developed jointly by the Department of Housing, Local Government and Heritage and the Department of Health, with support from key stakeholders including the HSE, Housing Agency and Age Friendly Ireland. The aim of the Joint Policy Statement is to provide a framework to support older people in a way that will increase housing options available and give meaningful choice in how and where people choose to live as they age. This will become increasingly important as our older population continues to grow. Today's launch highlights the continued progress we are making in the implementation of the Joint Policy Statement's 40 actions. Activity is progressing through the implementation group and its subgroups whose work have been extended to the end of 21. To date, 2 progress reports have been produced. The first was published in December 2019 and the second in January 21, which sets out in detail the group's main achievements to date. For example, earlier this year, an evidence review was published by the Health Research Board, exploring how older people view and experience housing with support and examining its impact on their well-being. This piece of research, the need for which was identified by the Joint Policy Statement, will help to inform the work of the Departments of Health and Housing on the development of the policy framework on housing for older people, so that a wide range of residential options will be available to them. For me, the path is very clear. When we think about later life, most of us would prefer to stay in our own homes, surrounded by friends, family, and the familiar setting of our own community, with the correct wraparound supports. Of course, long-term residential care can sometimes be the most appropriate care option, particularly when an older person's needs are complex. And nursing homes will continue to play an important role in the care system. However, our ambition as a government must be to do everything we can to support older people to live in their own homes with dignity and independence for as long as possible. This is why enhanced, better structured and integrated community supports are a vital part of the larger health and social care reform programme that is underway in the context of Sláinte Care. The development of a reformed model of home support through a statutory home care scheme is key in this regard. €17 million has been allocated in 2021 to progress the development of a reformed model of service delivery for home support. This includes €9 million for the recruitment of approximately 130 assessors and an ICT solution for the continued rollout of the Interi as the standard tool for assessing the care needs of older people in the community. 230,000 hours of home support will be delivered across 4 pilot sites to test the new model, and work is ongoing on that. In addition, funding of €1 million has been provided this year to establish a National Home Support Office to enable the testing of the reform model of service delivery. In the short term, the largest ever investment was made in home support for older people in Budget 2021. A total of €632 million was allocated in funding and will provide for 24 million hours of home support this year. This is an increase of 5 million hours from 2020. There is also a compelling case for examining the potential of new housing models, including those with associated care and support models, which fall between home care and full-time nursing home care. I look forward to seeing the results of continued policy development in the area under the Housing Options for Our Ageing Population framework. You have my support, Minister, ensuring its full and effective implementation. Much more remains to be done to create a truly age-friendly Ireland, but I believe we are making good progress along the way. Today is a fine example of this progress. So finally, I would like to thank again, as I said, Minister Burke for hosting us today here in this fabulous building in the Customs House. I would also like to thank the staff in my own department, including Matt, that has been doing Trojan work, and I want to compliment them for all the work they have done to date. The members of the Housing Options for Our Ageing Population Implementation Group for their support and feedback on the various documents and websites. Jackie, who presented today as host of the Age Friendly Ireland Shared Service, and her colleagues in local government across Ireland. Rosalind, as I said, who also presented today, and Sarah. And Leo Cairns, for all your work in sharing the housing options for our ageing population implementation group and driving action in this area. But most importantly, the members of our Older People's Council across Ireland, who have been an essential part of policy development and implementation, providing their voices and helping us to shape a better Ireland for all. So thank you all again for your time. And again, I would like to congratulate each and every one of you on today's event and the publication of these very valuable resources. I look forward to having a look at the website myself later on today. And I just want to ensure everybody of myself and Minister Burke's support going forward. Garv Mahagut.
Many thanks, Minister Butler, and great thanks for the warm words. It's just great to see all those supports coming through and the increase in the home care hours, particularly in 2020. If we learned one thing about the pandemic, it was that when older people were at home, they like to have their care at home and their supports at home. So it's a great learning. So in keeping with social distancing guidelines, I'm not going to come down and present each minister with their pack, but we will be giving each minister their pack and our guests here today. And this is what we're very proud of, and we will be giving those out to people from now on in print version and online. So thank you both for officially launching. So it's time to bid you adieu. I'd like to thank Minister Burke again for hosting here today, and with the range of thank yous that everybody's given, I'm not going to recap, but just all to say that it's great to have that live participation, having everybody online that have contributed so greatly, and we look forward to a day when we can do that in a physical presence and start to convene again. But just finally to thank you everybody today, and we hope you enjoy the resources going forward. Thank you.